Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into one of the absolute most frustrating bottlenecks in modern education, and that is the sheer administrative nightmare of running a school. We're breaking down StartDayEdtech, which is a platform that promises to take all that chaos and transform it into a unified, totally seamless ecosystem for everyone involved.
So here is our roadmap for today. We are going to cover the administrative burden, take a look at the ecosystem itself, see how it empowers stakeholders, dig into the security and speed, and then finish up with voices from the community. Let's get right into it.
All right, part one, the administrative burden and reclaiming the classroom. We really have to start by asking a pretty blunt question. Is administration actively getting in the way of education? I mean, a school's whole mission is to teach, right? But instead, we see educators just drowning in paperwork, doing redundant data entry, and battling these siloed legacy software systems. The technology that was supposed to help has honestly become a hurdle, completely pulling focus away from the students.
Moving on to part two, the StartDayEdtech ecosystem, its scale and its impact.
StartDayTech steps right into this massive friction point as a comprehensive SaaS platform. And look, they're just testing this out in a handful of tiny pilot programs. They're actively managing operations for over 500 schools right now. That proves they have some serious scalability across a bunch of different global school structures. And across those schools, they are supporting a massive active user base of over 50,000 students. Just think about the sheer volume of data for a second. We're talking tens of thousands of student records, grades, and schedules being processed every single day. Completely centralized so nobody has to enter the same information twice. But as we all know, massive volume literally means nothing if the system isn't reliable, because the school day absolutely does not pause for server maintenance. Crucially, they maintain a 99.9% uptime. That ensures the system is fundamentally dependable on those crazy days when report cards go out or morning attendance is due.
This really highlights a core differentiator in their approach. Unlike generic management tools that basically force schools to adopt all these clunky workarounds, StartDayEdtech is purpose-built alongside actual real-world educators. It adapts to unique, specific school workflows, rather than forcing the whole institution to bend over backwards to fit the software.
Okay, part three, empowering every stakeholder within a unified ecosystem. What's really brilliant here is how the platform creates dedicated portals for every single user type without overlapping and creating confusion. Students can instantly access their digital resources, parents get to track real-time performance, teachers can streamline their grading, and the admins easily handle user roles and billing. It's the whole shebang, but everyone stays perfectly connected within one centralized hub.
Let's actually zoom in on the practical side of this. Take the parent app, for example. Picture David, a parent who's busy at work. Instead of having to play phone tag with the front office, he just gets a push notification right on his phone. He can see real-time attendance, check homework updates, and even pay school fees securely right there in the app. It keeps him completely in the loop, completely friction-free. Meanwhile, on the educator side of things, the tools are just as laser-focused. Teachers are finally freed from grading fatigue with streamlined tools for attendance and lesson planning, which lets them, actually focus on teaching. And for the leadership team, the principal dashboard offers a true bird's-eye view. They can monitor staff performance and student metrics in real time, empowering them to make actual data-driven decisions instead of just relying on guesswork.
Which brings us to part four, uncompromised security and speed, and the technical foundation making this happen. When you are centralizing this much sensitive data, security has to be the absolute top priority. StartDayEdtech utilizes bank-grade 256-bit encryption for all data storage and transmission. Plus, they maintain strict compliance with global regulations like COPPA, FERPA, and GDPR. For a modern educational institution, that kind of legal compliance is simply non-negotiable. But beyond just security, there's speed. The platform's tech stack is heavily optimized to prevent lag during those high-traffic events, like exam results day. It also features single sign-on, meaning it integrates directly with Google Workspace and Microsoft 365. That is huge, because users don't have to juggle a dozen new passwords, and their calendars just sync up effortlessly. And they back all of this up with 24/7 dedicated support. All right, finally, let's jump into part five, voices of the community and real-world application. To see if this actually lives up to the hype, we can look at the community feedback. David Chen, who is a parent of a 9th grader, literally calls the mobile app a game changer for staying involved because of those real-time notifications we talked about earlier.
It provides an immediate, highly tangible benefit for parents who are usually blocked by really slow, outdated paper communication. On the administrative side of things, Sarah Jenkins, a principal over at Oak Ridge High, notes that the platform completely transformed how they handle grading and attendance. And get this, she mentions it is so intuitive that her teachers adopted it overnight. If you know anything about EdTech, you know that overcoming staff resistance to new software is easily one of the biggest hurdles out there. And then, at the absolute highest level of oversight, District Superintendent Dr. Amanda Torres praises the analytics dashboard for providing that bird's-eye view of district-wide performance. It just goes to show how having the ability to manage multiple branches from one single dashboard provides incredible, scalable value for district leaders. Now, looking at all this massive functionality, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, this sounds amazing, but migrating an entire school district to a brand new ecosystem has to take months of painful downtime, right? And honestly, that is a very valid concern. But the timeline is actually wildly surprising. StartDayEdtech handles all the heavy lifting for you, including the initial data migration and the staff onboarding. Because they have this process so incredibly streamlined, most schools go from zero to fully launched within just 48 to 72 hours. A 2 to 3 day turnaround for a system of this size is practically unheard of. So this leaves us with a pretty critical question moving forward. Are we going to just continue letting legacy administration dictate the pace of our education? Or will we leverage these unified ecosystems to finally reclaim the classroom? The tools to focus on student growth instead of endless paperwork clearly exist. It's really just a matter of adoption. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.